All right, Bang Bang. Today is Thursday. It is July 15th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. I'm here with Tony Gueston today. He's an aquatics manager. We're continuing this line of summer-type interviews. We had the pool guy on a couple weeks ago, so here we are, aquatics manager. What does that mean? I asked for a lifeguard. You said you're aquatics manager. Is that just a fancier title, or does that mean something else?
No, So I work at a health club. I run the pool there. We do swim lessons. We have a swim team there, and also have two pretty decent sized pools where people just swim in, and then I have to staff about between 40 and 60 lifeguards.
Oh, that's a lot of lifeguards.
Yes, a lot.
Damn, is it a big ass pool then? Like, you know,
normal size public pool. Yeah.
How many lifeguards do you need for? Is there like a law?
If we have slides going on, we usually have about between 7 to 10 going at a time.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. All right, so. Must be a pretty big pool.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this? How'd you get into it? What's the whole shebang here?
16-year-old kid wanting a job. Was on the swim team for a couple years, so a bunch of my buddies did it. Decided like it was a quick, easy job to do. Got into it that way, and then just kind of moved my way up from there.
So that's right out of the gate a question I have. 16-year-olds. Saving people's lives. Drowning.
Yes.
Dragging out people that are much bigger than them of a pool. How does that happen?
So to get certified, it's about the way I teach it through Red Cross. We do about 7 hours of online pieces and then another 20 in person.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of things you have to get done and able to pass.
Okay.
So we do like brick tests, pulling people out. A lot of things I like to do is throwing myself at the bottom of the pool and being like, all right, get me out.
Okay. Now, so you would say it's pretty rigorous enough where it's like, hey, people, you're going to have to know what the hell you're doing before you get in?
100%.
Okay. And Red Cross, what does that mean? That sounds a little bit more legitimate. Is that like a certified testing thing, or is that like a...
Yeah, so the person that
because I assume there's different schools besides like the Red Cross one, right?
There are.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with all of them.
Yeah.
I know like there's like Stargard, not sure what that one is, but I'm through Red Cross. So my certification's through Red Cross, and I teach the Red Cross way.
Okay.
So I'm like not an employee, but I work for Red Cross as well.
Gotcha. So it's like a mix of like written shit versus like someone in a pool and like pulling people out and swimming and
There's
stuff
a written
like that.
test too.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you said it's about overall how many hours?
Probably about 30.
30 hours? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And have you done like ocean stuff? Have you done like beach stuff, lake stuff? Like have you ever done any of that thing?
So I've never guarded or dealt with beaches. I have the one time I've ever had to do a rescue in real life when I was on vacation up in, was that Grand Haven, Michigan?
Yeah.
We were up there on vacation one time and someone was drowning, so me and my buddy went out and saved someone.
Really?
Did the whole like beach thing.
So you were just attending. You were just building sandcastles and someone was drowning?
Yeah, we were all just trying to enjoy ourselves. I was like, I think we were 19, 20 years old. And
holy shit.
Some guy was just, the tide took him out there. I think that's where they got like the gnarly waves.
Okay.
Like a lake up there, Grand Haven. Some woman started screaming. Me and my buddy were just chilling. We went out there, swam probably like quarter mile out, and like the thing you don't realize with the beaches is like you're knee deep in water for quite a bit. So instead of just getting someone out and putting him on the ground, we had to drag him through this knee deep water, kind of lifting him up, keeping him out of the water, and then we did a little bit of CPR, and he came right to.
So that's kind of an interesting question that brings me to the next point. There's different things people say about drowning. Some people say like it is like the movie where you see someone splash and screaming. Some people say it's a lot more subtle and it's a lot more quiet than you realize. What have you? I guess if that's the only instance, that's what you would go off of, or what do you learn?
I think it's more quiet. You still kind of see like maybe a little bit of flailing. When I do notice it, it's very quiet. Like they're drowning because they can't breathe. When you can't breathe, you can't talk.
Yeah.
So that's the times I have seen like the rescues, the small rescues. I haven't seen too many big ones. Usually the rescues we do, it's real quick. You notice it, you jump in, jump out, get them out before you even have to perform CPR.
Yeah. So that'll be like a kid who you notice right away. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what's a telltale sign that you notice that right away? He's just underwater?
It's usually a kid that's by themselves and there's nobody near them. So usually the parents are gone or someone kind of took off. It's a kid that, if you're a lifeguard, you should be doing your scans as it is.
Yeah.
And then as you're scanning, you kind of notice the weaker and stronger swimmers.
Yeah.
And you kind of keep an eyeball on those weaker ones a little bit more. So as you're doing your scans, you kind of notice it. What I teach my staff to do, or what I teach lifeguards to do, even if you think they're not drowning, but you have a suspicion, jump in anyways.
Okay.
Rather be safe than sorry.
So it really is kind of a thing where it's like find the straggler and keep an eye on him a little more?
Yeah, 100%.
Gotcha, because even if it's if there's 3 friends in a pool and one's struggling, they're going to kind of maybe motion towards you, and you still keep an eye on them too. But the straggler is the one that you really got to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I mean, the rule of thumb, like all those signs you saw back in the '90s, like never swim alone, never swim alone. Totally understand it now.
Yeah, no, I guess that makes a lot of sense. So, have you had pool incidents like that too? Then you said, or was that just the ocean one, the Grand Haven one, was like the largest scale?
The Grand Haven was probably the largest scale.
Because
that was a little surreal. Like, I mean, I was younger too, so I think it was a little bit. It messes you up for a little bit. You're kind of like freaking out for a while.
Yeah. Was the person okay?
Yeah. So the radio station now in Michigan reached out to us because we were out there for like a water polo tournament, and my coach like kind of wrote in saying like what happened. So we got like gift cards and stuff. The family reached out to us. He I forget his name. A long time ago. 31 now. He sent us like a card every year for like solid 2-3 years, just like thanking us, him and his family.
Oh, nice.
So nice guy.
Yeah, that is nice. And what did you do right away? So you drag him on, and then you
drag him. So we dragged him. We're sitting there like screaming, like grab. Someone called 911. We're dragging him had been like probably 100 feet just in knee deep water, and he's a big stocky built guy too. So like, and we're 19 years old. I'm kind of scrawny at the time, like trying to drag him in.
Not easy.
Eyes are rolled back behind his head. First thing I panicked to do is, as my buddy's like dragging him under his arms, I'm just like smacking him as hard in the face, like wake up,
Yeah. Is that like a tactic? Like, are you
I think it was on the spot. That's
just how you reacted.
That's what I was reacting. We couldn't really perform CPR because we couldn't get him on a steady thing. So as we're smacking him, he's kind of out of it. His eyes rolled up. We get him on the ground. As soon as we get him on the ground, I kind of do just 2 rescue breaths first, just to see what's going on. Minute I do that, he just blows chunks all on me.
Oh, damn.
So all Lake Michigan water just comes right on me in my mouth. Like, I'm just disgusted.
What was he eating? Was it gross?
I don't remember.
No.
It wasn't cool, though.
Wait, so what's a rescue breath? What does that exactly mean?
So if you're performing CPR on somebody, the first thing you're going to do is, like, if you find someone that's, like, kind of knocked out, you're going to kind of check for their pulses.
Yeah.
And so, 3 to 4 seconds, you're checking. If they're not breathing, they usually don't have a pulse. That's when you start performing CPR. That's where you're doing those 30 compressions to 2 rescue breaths.
Okay.
So most guards now, like 99% of them should have like a fanny pack on them, and you want to have that protection in between your mouth and their mouth.
Mm-hmm. And what is it? Didn't CPR change recently where it's not the compressions or it's the mouth-to-mouth? One of them is...
It changes a lot.
Okay.
Every couple of years, it changes a lot.
Really?
Yeah. So like before, like... years ago, infants were 15-1, children were 15-1, adults were 30-2 for the ratio. Mm-hmm. Then they changed. Now everyone's across the board is 30-2. Every couple of years, they try and make it easier and easier and easiar.
And when you say that, 30 compressions to mouth, or is that?
So 30 compressions, so you're like pressing in on their chest, and then you're doing 2 mouth, like so you're breathing in, trying to inflate the lungs.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And wait, so he blew chunks when you were doing the compressions, or when you?
No, I just blew in his mouth because I wanted. He kind of felt like he was breathing, so I just wanted to see if anything was in his throat.
Yeah.
As soon as I blew in there, like I blew in his mouth, it just came spurting out right on me.
Oh wow, what a surprise!
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, you saved that guy's life. That's great.
Oh.
And what did he come to right away?
He was kind of like out of it, like kind of like knocked out, unconscious a little bit, and then the EMTs came and took over.
Did he have a pulse at the time? And when you first got him,
I think it was faint.
Yeah.
So I think he was just kind of choking on that water.
Yeah.
So
damn, that's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a quick break here from talking to lifeguards, and let's talk about Miller Lite. If you're at the pool this summer, you should be safe, obviously. You're listening to this. You should make sure you know how to swim. Swim in groups. Make sure everybody knows. Maybe the buddy system, heavyweights. But you should be enjoying yourself and enjoying a nice ice-cold Miller Lite, whether you're at the pool, outdoor concert, laying in the backyard, floating on the river. A nice Miller Lite in your hand will always be there for you. And it's just a nice, no-frills kind of way to enjoy the summer. So go get a nice, great-tasting 96-calorie Miller Lite. And it's brewed with the beer lovers in mind. In a world of endless options, there's all these seltzers and there's, iced teas. There's so many things. Miller Lite's going to be there for you. You know that. And, you can depend on it. So to me, that's important. And I hope that's important to you because dependability is one of the great things in life. So next time you're getting ready to enjoy a cold one with your crew, go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you. You can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, let's hop back into the show. And did he say, I know you're more of a pool expertise guy, but what did he say? You hear so much shit about like the undertow or the riptide. Like what was the main thing that makes people
So they were from the city too. So they were taking the trip up in Grand. This is my first time up there out in Grand Haven, and like they have some like pretty gnarly waves for a lake.
Okay.
Because they have like that. I think it's like that plateau that just drops off. So you get like pretty big waves up in Michigan, and I guess he just kind of got out there, and he just as the waves come down, the water kind of pulls you back, and he just slowly got pulled out there.
Yeah. And what do they say? I was talking to someone earlier this week that you got to swim parallel is like the best way to kind of, if you're a riptide, if you're getting pushed out or something. I don't know what the.
It depends how strong of a swimmer you are.
Yeah.
I mean, most lifeguards usually come from a swimming background or they've been on the swim team. They can usually just blast right through those kind of situations.
So that's what you did, you said, right? You played water polo?
Yep. Yeah,
Gotcha.
well, I casually played a little bit in high school and then casually for like a year or two after.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what is, I guess, so you don't, what's the biggest thing when it comes to pools? Like there's, like, when it comes to an ocean, I assume it's harder, or or a lake or a beach or whatever. Is a pool a little easier? Or what's? I mean,
with the beaches and oceans, you have that sand, and usually they got like, especially out here, like you can only go out to like your waist deep.
Yeah.
Depends on the pool. If you have a pool that's like a 12-foot drop, a lot of people just are confident they go under. I mean, I can see it's hard on both sides. Personally, I think like the beach is a little bit tougher just because you have so much more body of water.
Yeah.
With a lot more space to cover.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you're jumping right out of you guys could jump right in, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to run the sand a little bit.
They got to run, and like I was telling you about, like that knee deep water. That's like probably the roughest part.
That's going to take a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. And what is like probably just distracted lifeguards, right? Is that what you get on them? Are most people looking at girls or something? Like, is that
I've seen. So I mean, every place has like their own kind of protocol, like SOP of like how they do it. So like. I'm just constantly like just watching them. At my place, what we do is like we call it like a red ball drill.
Yeah.
So it's a red ball. Keeps the guards on their toes. What we do is it's a small red ball, and we'll throw it in the water, and they have to identify that red ball within 3 to 5 seconds.
Ah. And what if they don't?
Oh, then it's a long talking to.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's what keeps them on their toes though. Like you do it early in the morning, and then you do it a couple times a day throughout the day, and then we never tell them when it's going to happen.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And is that a pretty common method?
I think so. Yeah, there's stuff like that. A lot of places do like the little, like they'll do their fake drownings. If you've seen it, like water parks where the lifeguards go and they practice, getting the backboard out, pulling everybody out. Mm-hmm. It's just nonstop going at it to keep them up.
And then what really else goes into being an aquatics manager?
Aquatics manager?
Yeah.
I mean,
besides dealing with the lifeguard stuff.
Dealing with 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
Yeah. I bet.
It's a lot of it's always their first job half the time.
Yeah.
So you always try to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's just a lot, especially the bigger the facility when you have between 40 and 60 kids saying like, "Hey, can't come in." So it's like gotta find coverage. It's a lot. Like so, I used to love the summer, and now I hate the summer.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh, I mean summer. Once summer's over, I just know fall's there, fall football.
Yeah. So you're done with it.
Oh yeah.
And so what is this? It's a public pool, and is this mostly like kids lessons? Is it mostly open swim? Does everybody look forward to when it's an adult swim? Is that like a break?
So we don't do adult swim. It's a safety break, and a lot of places do that. It also gets the kids out and gives them a rest, especially like in those like 100-degree days.
Yeah.
When it's hot, the kids get tired. They don't realize how exhausted they are. So like at my place, we do a safety break every other hour for 10 minutes. Adults do love it though too, because they're like, all right, finally I can kind of go in and dip, get away from the kids.
Yeah, I assume too you're way more at risk to drown if you're a lot more tired and everything. So
yeah.
And what about the water slides? Is that a factor here? Like, does that matter? Like, is there a risk there when they're popping up, or is it just kind of? It seems like kids just pop up right away.
Yeah, I mean, if most facilities, I'm almost positive, like my facility, we have water slides too.
Yeah.
They're not like the greatest. They're just pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
But we have a lifeguard on top and lifeguard at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you always have a lifeguard at the bottom of the slides. The kids are pretty good. You'll get the kids that try and like, hey, don't go head first, and they're like, yeah, whatever, and they just dive and do it anyways.
Yeah.
It is what it is. They're kids. It's gonna happen.
Hop in.
Water slides aren't really risky at all.
No.
Okay.
What else is that? What else am I kind of not getting to that's kind of like interesting about this whole process and everything? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Just a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
I mean, just practicing everything, practicing all our skills daily.
Yeah.
That's honestly all it is. That, and then a lot of people don't understand, like, the heat does get to people.
Yeah.
Like, a couple weeks ago when we had that heat wave,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my guards were starting to, like, kind of crash and burn for a while.
Really?
So when we got that rain days, I was like, all right, like, thank God, like, we can get these kids a break. They're not out there
Yeah, they're just
5 to 7 hours a day just roasting out in the sun.
they're baking. Well, they got the umbrella, right?
We got umbrellas, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just even under umbrella, if you're out there, like, especially like out here with the humidity we get,
Yeah,
it sucks.
It does suck. Yeah.
I'm like sweating walking 3 blocks down here.
Yeah. What about, do you guys at the lifeguards cleaning the locker rooms, or is that a different person's job?
It depends on the facility. My facility, the lifeguards clean the bathrooms, not the locker rooms.
A swim locker room, a pool locker room doesn't get enough heat for just being like a chaos-filled environment.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah.
So
So most of the time, like when I pool locker rooms, all with my experience, what kids and people love to do is just take the soap and put it everywhere.
Oh,
and then
yeah?
it's just like the slick danger zone.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the slick danger zone. I don't know. It just echoes every. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, all
just-
my childhood times, I remember during Adult Swim, we all go to the locker room, go in
Yeah.
the shower, everyone fight over the best shower with the best spurt.
Exactly. Yeah, it's chaos. It's chaos. Well, interesting, man. So I mean, pretty much the gist of it. These kids are 16, but they're going through some rigorous training, I guess. And then
Yeah, 16 to 21. I mean, it's usually the high school, college kids.
Yeah.
A lot of them do it. This last summer was probably one of the roughest summers just because we had like no lifeguards out in this region.
Oh, really?
There was a huge shortage out here.
Yeah, it sounds like everything, huh? Like there's just
Yeah, well, there's no classes going on because of the whole COVID, so you
Yeah.
couldn't teach. So people's certifications were expiring.
Yeah.
With Red Cross, they have to get it every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So we had to solve like a year where there's no classes and people were just expiring, and it was kind of just chaos.
So you have to re-up every 2 years too?
I have to re-up every 2 years.
And
yeah.
what's the re-up? Is it?
It's so it's not the full like
Yeah.
class. It's probably about 10 hours.
Okay.
So it's like a little refresher.
All right. Not bad then.
No.
Well, damn. Well, Tony, thanks, man, for coming in.
Yeah,
I
no problem.
appreciate it. And anything else there? Anything else I didn't get to?
I think we covered most of it.
There we go. All right, Tony. Thank you. Swim safe out there. If not, I don't know if there's a swimming tip you have either. But for someone who's kind of in trouble, grab onto the wall. Do whatever you got to do. But thanks, everybody, for listening. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.